Okay, so today I'm going to make meringue. Very simple, but also I had a lot of trouble when I started. So go over a few things. Simple in that it has a very few ingredients. We got a couple eggs, cream of tartar, vanilla, and sugar. That's it. That's all you need. Now, if you want to do other flavors, you would need whatever for that. But I'm going to keep it simple because this is only about the third or fourth time I've done this. Big important thing, and so the first 3 times I did this, I had a lot of trouble getting the eggs to solidify. And I wasn't sure why. Looked online, found that basically any amount of oil will mess it up. So when you separate your eggs, you got to be very careful not to get any yolk in the whites. That'll mess it up. And with your dishes, you got to be super careful that they're spotlessly clean. And the recommendation I saw online was to use vinegar, just white vinegar, rub them down. Well, technically I clean it then with dish soap and then rub it down with vinegar, rinse it really well, let it dry. And I've scrubbed the living tar out of my hands. So with that, let's get some egg separation going. Okay, so I have my 2 eggs and I got 2 little bowls because what I'm gonna do is I'm put the yolk in one and the whites in another, because with the yolk I can make creme brulee later on. That's wonderful too. Maybe I'll record that. All right, so snap that puppy. Now, you can do this mostly with the shell, but I have found just doing it with my hand is the best method, which is why I scrubbed the tar out of my hands earlier. I would say a couple other notes here is you want fresh eggs, because the fresher the egg, the more protein structure you have here that's going to give you that cohesion that you want. And that's going to be able to keep this all, make it fluff up. You know, keep it together, make it fluff up. So we'll get rid of that one. That turned out really well. And next, so as the gelatinous bits go through my fingers, you can kind of feel that and squeeze and pinch it off because it does like to stay connected. There we go. So we got our eggs. We got... Okay. Now we have our eggs. Now it's cream of tartar and beet. So this is a 1/4 teaspoon. And this basically helps to solidify the eggs as well. This is the only known use of cream of tartar I have. I'm sure there's more. All right. That's unfortunate. Okay. Tragedy mostly averted. So, the next bit is that once we're foamy, to start gradually adding the sugar. So I have lost a little bit of my egg. So I'm going to do a little bit less sugar. So, what you want to do is you want to mix the sugar in very small amounts at a time. Most directions I saw said about a tablespoon if you're going to measure it, and then keep mixing while you're doing it. Okay. So if you ever heard beat till stiff peak, there you go. Stiff peak. Alrighty. Now we got the vanilla, and go with a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Whoa. So what I have done here is I've taken my bag, I've kinked the end and inverted it and given myself much of a sack to dump in as possible. Now, I have this parchment lined sheet. I got these on Amazon, by the way. I love these things. Maybe I'll also use this as a review for these. They have these great little pinchy bits here. So once you get your stuff in there, put your little guy over. Got my star tip. Got my loaded bag. Pick a corner. And so I am accustomed to that kind of cookie, but I'm going to try and keep them small, like that's way smaller than what I'm used to, because I really want them to cook through and be crispy and not have that soft mush in the middle. I'm going to do a couple experiments here, see if maybe a long cookie will crisp better, worse, burn, etc. Okay, and on that note, we get to go in the oven. So normally, this is the time where I'd set this camera here for 10-12 minutes, speed up the footage, and show you how cookies expand as they bake. And I just can't do that here, because this is going to be on 225 Fahrenheit for an hour and 9 minutes. And because the meringue, we're really drying them out. We're not necessarily baking them in the sense that they are going to get bigger or change in any way. They're just going to get less shiny and dried out. So there's really not much to see as this goes along. Now, even when that's all over, we're basically going to leave them in there for an hour and a half-ish and let them cool as the oven cools. And hopefully, with that all said and done, they will be nice and dry throughout. Some people do actually prefer them with the soft, kind of chewy, marshmallowy center, but I find that highly disturbing and it just feels undercooked. So I will be shooting for having them all dried out. If the first bake doesn't do it, you can reheat the oven, throw them back in, usually at a lower temperature, which I have to look up or I'd tell you right now. So you can do it at a lower temperature and just see how they go for another hour or so, see how that dries them out. You can basically keep doing this. And even after they're totally done, say in a few days, you're in a humid environment and they get really soft again, you can actually do it again. So it's kind of a cookie that'll not really die, but as said, keep them in an airtight container, and probably going to be eaten pretty quick, so at least if I'm around, they'll be gone. So at this point, I've run it at 225 for an hour and 9 minutes, and then I let them sit for an hour. Then I bit a few of them that looked chubbier, and some of the chubbier ones were still chewy. So I set it to 225 again, ran it for another hour, and right now I tried one of the averagely large size ones, and they were pretty crisp. But let's see. I'm just snappy. So that just disintegrates in your mouth, basically, like cotton candy. And that's the cool part about this stuff. I just love that. It's just fluffed sugar and protein, basically. But they are pretty low calorie. So you can eat quite a few of them. Not a lot of junk in there. It's mostly air. Awesome stuff, though. Awesome. Might be a little better look at the crispy, flaky goodness.